Recording. It's recording. Okay. Go ahead, Justin. Go
Great.
ahead, Mr. Native.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Today's first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the May 1st board meeting. Do we have a motion to carry?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So, Steve, I think you said yesterday I need to abstain myself from that decision.
I think you should abstain because you weren't at the meeting. So
Correct.
Right. So they passed 3 in favor, 1 abstain.
All right. Moving on to the second item on the agenda, Franklin Alley. Steve, you want to discuss that?
Yeah. So we I'm not in order in any way here. So we've talked about Franklin Alley in the past. The Capital Resource Corporation gave us a grant for $100,000, pending our being able to get our financing lined up and our project in line and bids coming in good. The total project is actually more than that. It's a $330,000 project, but that's $100,000 of it is artwork from the art center and work that's going to be performed by the business owners as well. The work that we are actually going to have constructed, we put out to RFP, and that was removal of the sidewalks, mill and fill of the street, installation of lighting, and some signage. It's correcting the drainage issues that are there right now. And that we were estimating that to be about $200,000. And the bids came in the package. The low bid, we got 5 responses. The low bid was William J. Keller and Sons Construction Corp., a great company that will certainly do a great job. Their bid was $193,522 with all the alternates. And we're going to remove 2 of those alternates, which was existing vault improvements. We priced that out to do some vault improvements on 2 separate properties, but those are going to be the responsibility of the owners because they want to keep their vaults, and it's just getting new grading, metal grading for those areas. And while we still may have Keller do that work, it will be paid for directly. It'd be billed directly to the property owner. And the other one is building improvements to 1517 3rd Street. Same there. We're going to pull that out. That's the independent living center. And we didn't want to use our money to do work on their building, but we wanted to get the pricing for it anyways. So that brings the total bid down to $178,607. We have room in there. Also, we've also calculated in there an additional contingency for vaults because we imagine as we're going to remove these sidewalks, we may encounter vaults that need to be repaired, and our consultants, Chasing Companies, put in, figured an additional $20,000 for that, just in case as our contingency. So it's 178 is the bid, but it's going to be about 198. Also, there's some signage as well that we were going to install initially to bump up the project cost of this. We were also working across the street with Psychedelicatessen and tying Franklin Alley into the staircase that led down to Riverfront Park. And so we had a tenant moving into that space. There was going to be significant fit up costs that would have gone to our match. And they since, with COVID, have put their plans on hold. So while that was never a cost that we were going to bear, it was a cost that was going to go towards our 25%. Our National Grid grant that we're applying for, which is 25% of the cost of the project. So we had a reduction in what we anticipate getting back from National Grid now. And just Dylan Turek is preparing that application to submit to them after this is approved today. Likewise, the costs that we've expended on Chazen to date are not eligible because they've been spent prior to the application of the grant. So we had approved that previously. Spending the money on them, we thought we would get reimbursed for the Chazen costs. But basically what's going to end up happening here is the costs for Chazen, which are about $22,000, will be costs to the local development corporation. Also, so we would, the LDC would front this money. Obviously $100,000 coming from the CRC, $20,000 coming from the property owners. We're not fronting any of the money for the art installation. And then as it's completed, we would apply to National Grid for the drawdown. And you all saw how that worked with our Clean Fuels grant, which was another National Grid grant, although a different type. And their payment was fairly, I think it was like two or 3 months before we got it early this year, and we were completed in October of last year. So that's basically the project in a nutshell. There also is signage in there, which is an alternate for $14,000. So that would include an arched sign attached to Captain JP Building and identifying Franklin Alley. We also had signage to be installed on the stairway leading down to Riverfront Park. It's probably not a bad idea to still do that. So I believe I've calculated that in the numbers, although we may want to look at that and decide if we want to do that now or if we want to wait until we do more work on Riverfront Park. The property owners are all on board. I've received signed MOUs from all of them stating that they're going to sign the license, which we will go to now. And I've received one check. And all of it, we didn't anticipate receiving any checks until after today. I received one. I know 2 are in the mail. They've all agreed to get me the money in the coming week. So I think I covered it. Dylan Turek, is there anything I need to add to that?
If you share your screen, I can put up the signage on the screen for you so that everybody can see what you're talking about, if that helps.
Share screen. You got it?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'll get it for you. You shared your screen. You just got to click basically on allow. If you click on the arrow next to share screen, it says allow participants to share screen. And you just got to click on that box.
See, now I'm on a new screen and I have no idea how this works.
Yeah, sorry about that, baby.
It's because this is over on top of it. No, I'm out of luck here. Uh-oh. You guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Do you see the little? Do you see?
Oh,
the
now
little,
I got stuff. Pause share, remote control, stop video. You are screen sharing.
So if you go next to on the bottom panel, if you go next to screen share screen, you can click on share. If you can't, it's fine. We can don't need to worry about it. But it's next to share screen, the little green button at the bottom of your Zoom screen.
No, no good. I got you are screen sharing, recording. You are using enhanced stop share.
Don't worry about it. You're good. If you click stop share, you're good. It's on the blue little icon at the bottom of your computer there. That's what you're looking for.
Blue little icon on the.
Just to get back to the Zoom. And don't worry about sharing the screen. It's good. I can send it to everybody afterwards.
Well, stop share. I'll stop share. I know how to do that. Sorry, guys.
There you go.
Should have had my son come in. Okay. So, sorry. Was that wasn't in the package we sent though, right? No, the package was for COVID. Okay. But so basically, that's the gist of the project. We're ready to go and get this started. It'd be a great enhancement for the city. We also thought at one point the city was going to share in the mill and fill component, which was under $10,000, but they're, as we all know, a little strapped right now as well. And they're using their that's CHIPS money that they spend, and they needed to use it in other locations in the city.
Does anyone have any questions regarding the Franklin Alley project?
So Steve, yeah, just for clarification, the proposal does include 2 signs?
The proposal does include the 2 signs. The $14,000 is for both signs. So, you know, I argued this out with Dylan. I said we probably should just pull that one out right now, and he was like, you know, if we don't do it now, it's never going to happen. And it's a nice entryway there across the road, pointing towards the Bill Chamberlain Riverfront Park.
All right. Are there any other questions regarding the Franklin Alley project?
Just a quick question. What was the name of the lighting that's this kind of, I call them festival lights, but there's a certain cat of something lights?
Yeah, catenary lighting.
Okay, no, yeah, that's right.
I'll put a presentation into a link to a presentation in the chat bar so everyone can see it and they can browse it as they like or save it or whatever you like.
Cool.
Great.
Okay.
All right. So is it a motion to approve the resolution?
Yeah, there's a resolution in your packet, so that authorizes us to contract with William J. Keller and do all necessary documents as well. And I think we've already approved some of this previously in our January resolution. So we've already kind of started the project. But yeah, it's a motion to accept the resolution.
All right. So is there a motion to accept the resolution for the Franklin Alley project?
I'll make a motion to accept the William Keller proposal.
I'll second.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great.
All right.
Moving to the next item. Steve, you want to touch on that, the COVID-19 CRC grant?
Right. So basically, the local development corporation has been, well, Dylan and I with the city have been meeting online for a long time through this whole COVID pause, with the chamber, with the bid, with the city, we being the city as well, deputy mayor, with the art center, with the Troy architectural program, to start setting up a method to activate space to allow restaurants to expand outside so that they can keep their capacity up as they're limited within their buildings. And just the nature of their very buildings in Troy being small, it's really hard to have any seating inside and meet the requirements of social distancing. So basically, we've had this discussion for a while on how to activate the space, which would include shutting down 2nd Street so it's shutting down 2 streets, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which includes 2nd Street from State Street all the way to River Street, and 3rd Street not 3rd Street, Broadway from 3rd Street to 2nd Street in front of Bootleggers, the block between Bootleggers and Peck's, and the block between in front of the Plum Oyster Bar and the next block towards River Street as well. Also, for the entire summer, the block of Broadway will be shut down between 2nd Street and River Street, which as it was last year. So the proposal is to shut those down. We'll be purchasing some tables, using some tables that exist that the Art Center has, some chairs as well that the Art Center has, maybe purchasing some additional ones, getting rest facilities, sanitizing equipment, contracts with the bid to manage some of this, the TAP as well to manage a portion of this, the painting of the streets to signify where the tables and things can go. So shutting down the streets, obviously, and Unity House would be involved with kind of like they would be involved with patrolling the area and cleaning up as well. So we applied to the CRC for a $50,000 grant to undertake all these activities, and they approved it on last Friday and added in $10,000 additional to be earmarked specifically for non-downtown areas. So we don't have anything lined up for that yet, but we anticipate that we will get requests for assistance in other areas of the city to allow them to, create outdoor dining spaces as well. So basically, the resolution accepts the grant and allows us to enter into agreements with TAP, the Art Center, Unity House, and the bid to have them perform some of the functions to enhance this project. There's also an activation of Sage Park on Congress Street. That's the area in front of the Bush Center there, where the Minuteman is, and the statue of Emma Willard. So that would be shut down, and there would be programming in their events. And it's also a place people can grab their food and go there and eat. So that's basically what these areas are, is they create spaces for the restaurants to have specifically designated spaces on their sidewalks, as well as create spaces for people from other restaurants to grab food and come out and dine and enjoy downtown. Dylan, do you want to add anything to that? No? Good.
All right. Any questions regarding the update on the grant resolution for COVID-19?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes, quick question. So this resolution, Steve, is, it says 60,000 and 10,000 is outside the bid area, is that correct?
Yes, and we have no plans for that yet, but it's money that we have that would be available to use in those other areas.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, where does the CRC get their money from?
Well, they get their money from financing nonprofit projects or institutions, bond financing, and they actually just received a large chunk of money from a Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute refinance.
Ah, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And got to get the dog off the couch.
I didn't hear what he said, but okay.
You had to get the dog off the couch. She's squeaking out, but okay.
All right. Are there any questions regarding the update to the COVID-19 grant? Is there, so this is a motion to the increase of the grant resolution of $10,000?
It's a motion to basically approve the resolution authorizing, to approve the resolution, what's it called? To approve the Summer Square resolution. I think that would.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the summer resolution for the COVID-19 grant?
I'll make a motion.
So, is there a second? Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right, Steve, you want to discuss the executive director's report now?
Sure, and okay, so I'll talk about the executive director's report, old business, really under the same thing. The first one is the loan deferments that we approved earlier in the year, a 6-month extension. Justin had gotten me a template for the agreement with these businesses, and I did some modifications to it. I just wanted to reiterate, we're bumping all the payments to the end. So for these 6 months, they're not paying. They get added on to the end of the grant, end of the loan, and so the loan will extend out by 6 months, plus any accrued interest will get tacked on at the end as well. And since some of them are already late by 2 months before that, I'm going to tack those on as well at the end. So we're not doing a balloon payment at the end. We're just moving the payments out 6 months. To work with Mary Ellen to make sure that all gets documented properly. Thanks, Mary Ellen. So that's underway. The only update to that is when I spoke with Ilium Marla, who has about $7,000 left on hers, and she closed up. She indicated to me that what she would do now is she will go back to March and make all payments from March. She was operating under the assumption they were deferred as well. She said, I'd be willing to do that. Would you be willing to waive the late fees since March? And I'm open to that if she wants to pay the accrued interest. I figured I'd bring it to the board just to ask them if you're on board with that. It's March, April, May, June, so it is 4 late payments. But so not hearing any argument, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and waive the late payments.
Steve?
Yep.
Could I just wanted Justin to weigh in on that just to make sure that doesn't create any problems for us, that's all.
No, you have the ability to toll or waive any payments that you see fit. So given the circumstances, this is just all kind of accumulation of the COVID response, and give businesses a time to rebound and get caught up after the 6-month period.
Thanks.
Every lending institution I've worked with, since March has not charged any late fees whatsoever.
Okay. Thanks, Justin. Also, bringing up ancient history, the city we requested 3 properties from the city. We have accepted title to 1 so far, Northern Drive up in Lansingburg. We are now about to get the transfer done on the Federal Street property. If you cross the Green Island Bridge, it's past the beer garden. There's a little piece of land there that's being used as a construction staging area right now. We needed a property description of that one. That's complete, so the transfer is about to occur. BDC Development Corp has a plan to do phase 2 of their King's Landing project. Phase 1 is the building that is completed now behind the beer garden, and they are looking to do another one now behind that between the Laundry Place, which is the alley there, and Fifth Avenue, the west side of Fifth Avenue, just north of Federal Street. And that was supposed to be before the Planning Commission for initial review. It'll end up going back on July 9th, and then again for another couple meetings. But if that gets approved, they have requested from us that property so that they can build out to Federal Street, activate Federal Street, put a restaurant on the corner there. So I think it's good for Federal Street. And so I just say we'll be accepting the property, and I'll bring a proposal next month forward on their ask there. What else?
Do you have a number in mind for what that is worth?
It's not a huge number. I'm thinking it's like $19,000, probably the appraised value, basically based on 50,000 an acre. It might be less. It might be $9,000 actually. Not a big hit of money. However, it does bring, the LDC now has facilitated the deal, and when they end up going to the IDA, it does allow us to act, to do a profit sharing with the IDA on any fees they receive, or revenue sharing. So,
Steve, what's the property on Northern Drive? Is that the old that old gas station on, if you're right in front of the what used to be the strip mall there?
No, it's further up. It's I don't know what exactly it was. It was torn down before I started working here, but it's on the corner of. Wait, I'm not sure. It's on the right. It's
Any environmental issues with it? We're not inheriting another King's Fuel, are we?
No, there's not. There was a building there, but no. We've already got title to it. We've got a purchaser in mind on that already. And that's it for old business. I have no new business.
All right, I guess before we move to financials, are there any questions regarding the old business, loan deferments, Federal Street property before we move on to financials? All right, I don't believe we need a motion for that, so we'll just, Mary Ellen, we'll speak about the financials. You're muted.
Our first report is the statement of financial position. As of 5/31/2020, our total assets stand at $3.2 million, with $524,000 of the assets in cash. Our liabilities are at $1.2 million, leaving us with a fund balance of $2 million. There was a change to the statement of net position, and that would be the addition of 16 Northern Drive. Since the donation of 16 Northern Drive from the city, we added it to the statement of financial position. It's right under land. The next report is the statement of activity for the month of May. For the month of May, we have $6,694,000 surplus. I'm sorry, $6,694 surplus. The largest source of revenue for the month was loan interest and rent. During the month, our expenses were $5,014. No out of the ordinary expenses. I'm sorry, there was, which is the donation from the city, which is the reason we have a surplus this month.
Is that the, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman? Is that the 13,500?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep. That's it.
All right, I'll move the financials.
Is a motion to approve the financials?
Yes. So moved.
Yeah. Well,
Second?
second. Great. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
I did forget an old business. I'm sorry, King Fuels. Just to update on that, National Grid is still moving forward with plans to start remediation of phase 1 in September. Justin's been working with their council on a license agreement, which we hope to have back for the July meeting to be able to review with you. It does, hopefully, there's a payment from National Grid included with that, so we'll have a revenue source from that as well. Justin, is there anything you want to update on that?
No, that's a good summary. I hope to work with them closely next week and get that as close to final as possible so we can get them teed up to start in August or September as they're planning to do, which is good news. It's only been 10 years.
How does that tie into the South Troy road? I don't know what you call it, but
Industrial roadway.
Thank you.
It's south of that area. So initially the roadway was supposed to go through that area, but it will not. It terminates at Main Street right at just south of the jail there.
Okay.
So, and that project
bid?
it's underway. It started, construction starts, well, it really starts next week. They were doing some surveying this week, but that is underway. And we also are meeting with the developer on potential short-term lease and long-term purchase option for the King Fuels property. So hopefully this headache will be gone soon.
How far north does that road go, Steve?
Well, eventually it will go all the way to Adams. Phase 1 only goes to Madison, which is just south of the, or not Madison, Monroe. So it's just south of the old Bruno manufacturing building, phase 1, and we're in phase 2 negotiations right now for acquisition to get the rest of that going. So hopefully that will be under construction next year or late next year and the following year. And that closes my old business, and I have no new business.
All right. Thanks for that update, Steve. Well, that's it for today's meeting. Does anyone have any questions regarding today's agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So we have 2 Justins.
You were late for that discussion.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out, you can't say JN, you can't say JM. So maybe it's Miller and Nadu. I don't know, but he was the Justin, so I feel like I may just have to be Nadu and he's Justin. I don't know.
How about like a nickname like Jane?
How about Legal J?
I'm gonna go with just say Nadu or something.
How about Council J and Chair J, or Council Justin and Chairman Justin? Unfortunately.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
So moved.
There is a second. Is there a second?
Yeah, Andy was second.
We said there was a second?
Yeah, Andy seconded.
Yep.
Great. Any opposed? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Adjourned.
Have a great weekend. What do you think? What do you think, Chair Justin? Much better than the last week's meetings. Much shorter.
Yeah, that was was a little bit longer, but you know, it had to be done. So.
All right. So long, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Bye.